Yeah, yeah.
Hey Siri, call Andre. Hey,
Calling
Siri,
him now.
call Andre.
Calling
Yo,
him
Andre.
now.
Yo, what's up, man?
Hey, man, we waiting here, man. Are you on your way with the equipment?
Yeah. I'm loading up right now, man. I'm on my way. I'll be there in one moment.
Right now, man. I'm on my way. I'll be there.
What time the show start?
Yeah, the show starts
What time
at
the
6
show
o'clock.
start?
Remember that.
6 o'clock? Okay, cool.
But we want to get the sound check done so that we can
Okay,
go
cool.
do things.
Man, I'll be there in a matter of minutes, man. I ain't loading up in a matter right now as we speak.
I hope you on the way, dude.
Right
hurry
now,
up. Come on, because we got to get going.
Okay, cool. I'll see you soon.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, cool. I'll see you soon.
2 hours later.
I got you.
2 hours later.
I got you.
It's nothing unfamiliar. It's nothing unfamiliar. Nothing difficult. Nothing difficult. It's expected. It's expected. It's just a norm. It's just a norm. Just a norm. It's just a norm. It's just a norm.
All right. I don't know what the heck is going on, but always trying to do something new and trying to make sure that I got this live stream together because it seems like I'm always a newbie when I get back and doing things. So if you tuned in and you were like, what the heck is going on? You might have noticed that there was a doubling of my audio. And so I'm in Restream and I posted some videos and it seems like I was getting a double signal from them. But right now, it seems like everything is good. I'm getting a good signal, and you only hear it out of one source and not two sources. Oh, that's so tacky. What is that on my keyboard? You didn't see that. All right, it's that's my Santa shirt. You know, so I'm started over there. What's good, you all? Drizzy Dre. What's good, bro? Thanks for all the help on Cakewalk. I'm glad I was able to help on Cakewalk. Sometimes you never know if you're helpful or not, but every time I see new comments that come in, I'm eager, man, like to just, you know, it's such a blessing to be able to share knowledge. And I do believe, you know, and you've heard it a million times, knowledge is power. So, and whatever I don't know, I definitely have to research. And I feel like sometimes I feel an imposter. Like I feel like, you know, when I come back to like working in Cakewalk, not that I love Cakewalk, so I'm never going to give up Cakewalk. So don't ever doubt that. But it's just that I've been away for so long, you know, in my mind, I've been away basically. I haven't, like, it was a point in time where I used to post like every day or every other day or at least once a week. And there was even a period when I had a set schedule when I would put out videos. Over 600 and some videos on this channel. I think, and of course there's some videos that I have like that are archived or hidden that you all don't see. Some of the ones that I put out a long time ago that I was like, let's put those back in the archive for now. But still need more help. Hey, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to definitely help as much as I can. So that's what this night is all about. You have questions. I'm going to assume that I know the answer for it. And if I don't, well, we'll figure it out together, right? Richie Ave, just finished my entire album, Cakewalk. Woohoo! Stand up, man. Where's my applause at? Hold on. Do I have applause? Hold on. Let's get some going. Hold on. I'm scared that if I like press the wrong thing, I might mess something up. There we go. All right. I don't know if did y'all hear that applause at all? That was so late. If you didn't hear it, then oh well. So some people don't believe that I did my album on Cakewalk. Well, you know, show them, like, just show them some clips. Like, you know, I feel like it's great to document yourself as you're recording. I mean, even though I do it, you know, to release to YouTube, but even if you're in here and you trying to figure out something, like, I would just say pop on the camera every now and then and showcase what you're working on and how you're doing it. You don't have to let everybody know the secret stuff, but you just know, hey, I just started working on this groove, you know, and let them hear a few bars of it or a few beats of it. Be like, but you gotta wait for the record though, you know. So, I mean, you can do that, but definitely tease it out, because social media makes it a lot easier now to really push your music. It's something that I really don't do as much. I don't really push my music as much. Don't know why, but I mean, I have music out, but you have beat me to the punch, Richie Ave, because you finished a whole entire album, and the most that I finished is an EP and a bunch of singles. And you're asking me, well, where's the album at? It's in the works, you know, and it's been in the works on this channel for the last 4 or 5 years. I have 4 albums that I plan to release. One is going to be completely instrumental, because I do a lot of jazz and a lot of stuff like that. And one is going to be like my theme songs, theme celebrations. Like I started, if you know me and you've been on this channel, you know, for a little while, you know that I started working on the Christmas song. Actually, speaking of, let's share this screen. Now, I think this is one reason why I was having issue earlier, is because I was trying to share my screen. And when I shared my screen, I was sharing the audio coming from the screen. And then somehow, I don't know, somehow the videos, whatever. The videos was, I have to mute. That's what it is. I should have muted the main source so that way it won't be playing the same thing twice. It's just water. It's water. You know, you can't see it. It's just water. I get dehydrated. Well, I mean, everybody gets dehydrated. Earlier it was just juice. I'm a drinker, but I don't drink. I really don't drink. I drink every now and then, like special occasion. Probably twice a year or something like that. But yeah, just water. I just put it in those, you know, red plastic cups. So what are the questions that we have? We're in Cakewalk. Oh, I like this one. Okay. We're in Cakewalk. And what questions do you have, if you have any questions? And speaking of a Christmas song, like, I know it's past Christmas, but last year I started working on a Christmas song. And, you know, eventually I'll drop it on Christmas or before or somewhere around Christmas, but it's not something I finished yet. And that happens to me quite a bit. I'll start working on songs and then I go to the next idea. And really, I think being a content creator and working on YouTube, it like forces me to start projects, even though when I haven't finished the previous ones. Let me see if I'm getting audio on this. Is this coming out of 3 and 4? Okay, yes, this is coming out of 3 and 4. All right, so I got to switch. So on my Zoom Live Track L8, there is channel 7, 8, and channel 7 and 8 are 2 separate tracks, like 7, 8, 9, 10, basically. And they're stereo channels, but they have multiple features. So you can plug up your aux cable, you can plug up your quarter inch, and then there's a USB interface part, and then there's the actual sound pads where you can put a little stuff like that. And like this. Okay, yeah, you know, so, but the only thing about that, when I have a switch on the sound pads, it takes it off the USB, and then you won't hear anything on my Cakewalk, I think. Hopefully I fixed it. Can you all hear this? Let me know if you can or not. Let me bring up my phone again so I can make sure. Okay, good. I can hear it, so maybe I can hear it. Okay, and this is just okay, cool, Richie. I'm glad you can use. I mean, say use it. I'm glad you can hear it. All right, okay. I just want to make sure you weren't hearing no extra like dubs of anything like echo anywhere. So cool. So I started this song last year, and I remember like I think I recorded like maybe 1 or 2 videos with it, and it was something I just kind of left alone for a while. Then I came back to it. The intention is to put vocals to this too as well. So right now, the melody, which is track 1, is really just it's just a melody basically, and then I'll go through and sing it and stretch it out some and stuff like that. It's something that I'll finish, but I have plenty of songs that I have like created that have been like celebratory type of songs, kind of like I have May 2020 during COVID was, everybody was quarantined basically. And it was a time where I got serious about this YouTube channel and I started posting stuff to it. But that was a time where I decided to make a song, and I made a song. Of course I was writing music and recording music all the time anyway, but I decided to make a song for the mothers, and it's called Mama You So Cool. And I don't know if you all listen to that or not, but it's out everywhere. And that song really changed my life because, for one, it was great to be able to record, at home, record everything. We had to go shoot a video, using my iPad and my iPhone, trying to capture different angles. And I remember I was using my PC computer, right? I think I was using my PC computer. And I remember like it was yesterday, like all of a sudden, like while I was doing video editing, it crashed, and I had to switch to doing, hold on. Yeah, it crashed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. It crashed. And I had to switch to doing everything on my iPad. So like I had to edit the whole video on my iPad, and 32 gigabytes of space is not a lot of space to do anything video wise, but I was able to put it together and, released it. And out of that then came another song for Father's Day. That's My Dad, which is the name of the song. And all of these songs that came about, like I've written a lot of songs for my wife, like our anniversary, at least 3 or 4 songs for my wife. So all of these songs, like celebratory songs where you're celebrating, like different special holidays, I want to make an album that's just all that, So I've got a birthday song called Surprise. And then I have like my blues song, which I've done an a cappella version of, but I haven't done like the for real version of. And that's called, it's like Happy Birthday to July, basically, July babies. Because I'm a July baby. I'm a Cancer. So, So, but anyway, let me stop talking. You're not here for that. You're here for the questions that you may have. Richie, if you're still on here, tell me, like, what was some of the things that you noticed that you had to deal with in regards to using Cakewalk to complete an album? Because I know that, yes, to everyone else, Cakewalk is not the DAW to choose. In fact, most of the conversations that you hear, Cakewalk is not a part of them. You'll hear Cubase. You'll hear, Logic. You'll hear Pro Tools. You'll hear, FL Studio, of course, and any other ones. And everything is like, all of these are great DAWs. Like I don't knock any DAW. So I believe that you should use whatever DAW you're comfortable with using. And just know that some DAWs have more features than others, or different features than others. But the bottom line is your workflow. If you can have a chill or a cool workflow and you're able to get in there and do some things, then you're good. Okay, latency issues latency issues for sure. Tell me about your instrumentation. What are you, I mean, what was on the album? What were you using? Are you using like, is this like live instruments, like, drum track, maybe a live bass, live guitar, etc., some vocals? Is this like all virtual instrument based, where you're using all the sounds that are within the DAW, or even outside plugins that you may have? So tell me more about that if you can. I wish I could get y'all on. Can one of y'all, like, does anybody want to come on and talk? Like, I need to be able to send some people on. I want people to start coming online. Like, really, for real. Like, I need somebody come in. Okay. All right. And Dizzy Dre said, I need help mastering my stuff. Okay. Mastering stuff it's one of those gray areas where it's like, to be a true master, or what you really call it, pre-mastering, basically. So old days mastering was really putting to print, so basically putting it on, record, or putting it on, vinyl. That was like the actual mastered version. But so we use master now to, to show, trying to get the mix louder, trying to add harmonics or saturation and things like that to make the album sound completely better, or better altogether. And those are some of the most hardest things to do. The great thing about it now is that we live in a time and age where the plugins that come out allow you to do it a lot easier than you could before. And it's like mastering, you had to have a certain ear for it. And I will admit, I can master it, but it is not my forte. It is not like something that I'm just like, agreeing to do for everybody. But there are some things that I know that are easy to use, that are outside of Cakewalk, that you can use in Cakewalk or any other DAW for that matter to help. So Richie says, and I'm gonna come back to that, Drizzy. Don't go nowhere. I'm gonna come back to that topic. I think the main latency issue is coming from the amount of plugins I use. Okay. Simple trick. I say it time and time again. When you get to doing, two things. First off, when you get to dealing with a whole lot of plugins, go to preferences, go to driver settings. If you can, if you're using ASIO, then you should have this option, an ASIO panel, or even if you're using MME or WDM, it works. If you're using Wasapi, you won't have this option. Like, this buffer size would be grayed out. Anytime that you're dealing with a lot of plugins, like right now I'm at 512 samples. No, you can't really see that all that good, but I'm at 512 samples, and normally I will push that all the way to the right whenever I get to work on a lot of plugins. It's tedious to go back and forth. Remember to do that. The other thing that I would do is, if you're using instrument tracks like this, like this electric keyboard right here, I would definitely freeze this, okay? If you're not sure about the freeze button, there's a little asterisk that you'll find on each track. And what that does, it allows you to freeze that track. It'll convert it to audio, right? Now, in this case, I'm not really using a lot of space or a lot of memory on this. Now, don't look at my hard drive space, because my hard drive space is always, I mean, it's always gone. I don't know. I got multiple hard drives on this computer, but that C drive, boy, I mean, I'm trying to, I was looking at it early, right before I got on stream. I said, this 5 gigs? I'm like, how I get to 5 gigs? I'm like, dude, I'm like, it was at 9 gigs, you know? But anyway, I got back to 9 gigs. I haven't been here in a long time, but you really see how much space you have left when you get into Cakewalk and you see that red, you're like, ooh, okay. Didn't know I had that much left. But once you freeze a track like this, then what it does is it compresses everything. Not literally compresses, but just basically combines all the plugins, all the reverb, all the effects, everything that you had on there into this one track. And then what I would do from there is I would right click and I would duplicate the track. And then I would say events. I do want the events. If I had any extra effects on it, I would say that. And then I would duplicate it. Right. Or in this case, what it did is duplicated the data. That's not what I really wanted. So what I would do is I would press Control while holding down Control and then drag it down to another track. But before you do that, you know, I would create a new track. So Control T, and that added that track down there. That's fine. We can move it up. Move it all the way up. And I will put that track there. And then what I would do is if you hold down Control and Shift, it'll keep it lined up. Like, okay, so notice that it's only going in that exact spot. It's not like now before when I was doing Control by itself, then it was I can drag it all over the place, but I don't really want that. I want it to stay lined up in sync with the other track. Control Z. So I'll Control Shift, and then I would hold that down there. And now this track is compressed, and everything is there. And then I can unfreeze this track, you know, and then what I would do is I would go in and archive this track, like if I'm done with it. So MSR, archive. All right. And now this track is not being used at all, but you'll still hear that part. And this helps to free up a lot of those memory issues that you may have because using a lot of plugins, because think about it like this. Think about your brain. You know, think about how you have to, I didn't realize my video left. Think about how you have to process things, you know. Remembering to get up in the morning and go to work. Okay, that's one thing. Cool. Simple. Remembering to get up and go to work. Remembering that you have to take a shower. You have to brush your teeth. You have to make food for your kids, if you got kids, or for your wife, if you got a wife or a husband or whoever. You gotta remember to get gas. You gotta check your tire pressure, and then you gotta go to work. So all of these things you're trying to tell a computer to do. To remember that there is MIDI data that it has to play. It also has to remember the amount of milliseconds your delay is set to. It also has to remember how much reverb you want on it. It also has to remember this. Sometimes it can't think about all this stuff, especially if you got 20, 30, 40 some tracks. So when you say to the track, hey, all I want you to do is just do what you do, and that's just play the audio. Now it only has to think about the audio, so it doesn't have to think about all the other MIDI data, because anytime you deal with, now even though we're dealing with audio effects, but anytime you deal with like CC messages are like MIDI messages. When you say, on this note, I want you to play the velocity at this level, and on this note, I want you to play the velocity at this level, and then I want you to pan this way, and I want you to pan that way. Those are all messages that are being sent, and it's hard it's not hard, but I mean, just any computer will have issues unless you have a supercomputer. Like if you have like, you know, this computer I built, right? So it's got 16 gigabytes of RAM, DDR4. This is a 6-core processor. It's not, it's so much more better products out now. Like I can probably go buy a computer that's not even like made. It's not made, but it's not custom made, and it probably be quicker and faster than the one I have now. But This one, I mean, I upgraded it, what, 3 years ago, something like that, 4 years ago. I can't remember how long it was now, but it might have been longer than that. I can't remember. But and I had to upgrade it because, like I said, the original computer I had a dual core processor in it, and I had built that computer when I originally built it when I was 17 years old, and I had to replace the motherboard once. Yeah, I had to replace the motherboard once. Okay, because I had a motherboard. I had I want to say I had a BioStar motherboard in it, and I remember, like, you know, it lasted for 2 or 3 years, went out. So then I replaced that with an Asus motherboard, love Asus, or Asus, or however you want to pronounce it. And then I had that motherboard in there, and I had, you know, of course I upgraded memory and all that stuff. And I had that motherboard, and that computer lasted for, you know, over 10 years. So, and then, like I said, it was shot, basically. So, yeah, so you have to redo these things. If you're using a laptop, you know, great. Use a laptop. If you got it, that's all you got. Cool. I would give advice. It's better to use a desktop computer when you're dealing with recording. Like, now, if you're on the fly a lot, you know, and you're out of town, or you want to be portable, great. You get you a laptop. But if you're going to be at home and you're trying to really build out your home basic studio, then I would suggest getting a desktop. And if you can get one custom made, great. If you can build it yourself, great. But if you can't, try to get one that's got at least 16 gigabytes of RAM. That is the recommended. I mean, the minimum requirement for Cakewalk or pretty much any DAW is 8 gigabytes. But 16 gigabytes is really recommended, and you'll know why. Because if you've got stuff running in the background, like different processes, there are a lot of processes that run in the background of computers. You may never know that they're running, and you can always check, like at the bottom of your computer, you know, you'll see, you know, I've got Windows security, and you have to have security. Like, if you're gonna be online at all. Now, if you got a computer you don't want to be online at all, that's you. But if you're gonna be online, you need to have some type of security. I just use Windows security because, you know, like, I used to work on computers all the time. You know, me and my dad, we build computers, so I used to troubleshoot, and I know that a lot of different antivirus softwares consume memory like crazy. Okay, so Clutch, how long did it take you to get a good feeling for this DAW? I understand Bandlab, but want to upgrade to a real DAW at some point. That's a Clutch. That's a question. So over the years, so I started with Cakewalk back in the 80s, all right? So yeah, well, actually, I mean, I started in the 90s, rather. My dad started in the 80s. Okay, so we go all the way back to, you know, Cakewalk, like before live audio came out. So I've been a Cakewalk fan for over 20, 30 years now. So everything doesn't really change much when you go from one DAW. I mean, different versions or different upgrades in the same company, things don't really change much. I mean, the platform now is still pretty much similar to the way it was when Pro Audio came out, to me anyway. There's some things that are different, but for the most part, once you get used to it, and then I guess, you know, if you have a knack for technology, pretty much anything that you get into, you can kind of pick it up quick. Sorry, y'all. That's why I got water, because I feel like I'm rambling and talking too fast. Let me slow down. Just tell me slow down, okay? Just know I'm slow down. All right. Deep breath. Okay. So if I go, like, even when it comes to, like, keyboards, because, you know, I play drums, you know, I play bass, I play good, you know, some everything. But when I remember I used to go to Guitar Center, or Mars Music when it was around, and whenever I would go to those stores, I was able to just pick up any instrument that was there and play, but not just like, let's just say keyboards. I can go to a new keyboard and I would automatically know how to start working it. It took me a little while to adjust to it, but that's because I have that mindset. I'm used to taking things apart. I'm used to kind of opening it up to see how things work and putting it back together. And so that transfers over to any DAW that I work in. It doesn't really matter what DAW I work in because I pretty much can get in there. If I can get in there, it give me 1 hour, and if I can make something, then I'm cool. You know, now if I get in there, I would tell you there's one DAW that I was like, nah, I am not using that ever. And that was, what's the name of it? Shoot, I forgot the name of it. Bitwig. I had it at the bottom too. I could have just looked at it. Bitwig. And don't get me wrong. You know, if you're a Bitwig user, you probably love it. I'm going to get back into it. But when I tried that thing out, I was like, no. Like, I mean, it took me over, like, I felt like it took me over an hour and a half, and I was still trying to figure out how to do stuff. And I'm glad I was only using a trial of that because, you said, Clutch said Reaper, LOL. Yeah, you know what? Reaper is like that too as well. But I feel like I can get into Reaper because, like, someone's asked me questions about Reaper, and my boy X.E.L.O, he got into Reaper a lot. So, I mean, he knows a lot about it. And I remember one time somebody asked me a question about Reaper, how to do something in Reaper. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me go figure that out. But when I get questions like that and I don't use a DAW or I don't know, then I'm like, somebody asked me a question about FL Studio and I had to go figure that out. Now, mind you, I used to use Fruity Loops back in the day. But I was always a Cakewalk user. I'm always the oddball. So, I grew up, I'm an 80s baby. So I was born 84. So I'm 40 years old now. In case y'all know, I'm still young. Thank you. I know I'm very young, even though I lost all my hair. I started losing my hair at the age of 17. But don't worry about that. That's another story. When I was younger, I was the person that was listening to OJ's and Earth, Wind and Fire and Rare Earth and, Led Zeppelin, AC/DC. I was listening to all these rock, these, urban R&B, classic, soul groups. And then I was listening to jazz. I was listening to jazz and I was listening to Marvin Gaye and I was listening to, my grandma always played Al Green. So that's what I grew up on. Now, mind you, I'm growing up, I'm in school, it's the 90s, and everybody's listening to what? Pop and rap. Like, rap music is what everybody's listening to. So I did not grow up listening to rap. I mean, I listened to it, but it wasn't something I was like, oh, yeah, man, did you get that? I'd be like, who is that? Or who is that? I don't even know who that is. It's funny now because now when I think about it, now I know, like, a lot of the artists that came out back then for rap, but all of these new artists that are out now, I can't stay with you. I don't know who the artists are. You can name, new artists come out every day, but they all always had a little name in front of it. So back in the day, I used to call myself Lil Dre. Because in case you didn't know, my middle name is Andre. And so I used to, people used to call me Lil Dre because my dad's name is Andre. So we got the same name. And, my artist name was Lil Dre, and then somehow Just the Norm came out because my first name is Norman, in case you didn't know that. So now you know that, which is why it's called Just the Norm. But that phrase came about because everything that I do dealing with music is it's normal for me. It's not like something that's rocket science. It's just something that's always came to me. Un momento. It feels like somebody's trying to get in the door. Here I come. My family is coming back. So give me one moment while I put this video on again. Hope that it does work.
Call Andre.
I hope that it works.
Calling him now.
Call Andre.
Calling him now.
Yo, what's up,
Hey,
man?
We waiting here, man. Are you on your way with the equipment?
Yeah,
and stuff?
I'm loading up right now, man. I'm on my way. I'll be there in one moment.
Right now, man. I'm on my way.
What time the show start?
Yeah, the show starts at 6 o'clock. Remember that.
6 o'clock? Okay, cool.
But we want to get the sound check done so that way we can go do things and
Man, I'll be there in a matter of minutes, man. I am loading up right now as we speak.
I hope you on the way, dude. I mean, hurry up. Come on, because we got to get going.
Okay, cool. I'll see you soon.
All right, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, cool. I'll see you soon.
2 hours later.
I got you.
2 hours later.
I got you. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, you all. I didn't want to just leave it here and you'd be looking at my blank green screen. When you heard that video, that's from my Poor Engineer series. You may not know, but if you're new to the channel, you probably don't know that I have a comedy series that I started on this channel back when I was trying all these new creative things for this channel. And yeah, I got to get back into that. Yeah, Drizzy Dre, your name is Dre is also. I know. Said Andre Mynad. Andre is my dad. Your dad's name is Andre too as well, maybe? Is that what you're saying? Hopefully that's what you're trying to say. I don't know. But yeah, so yeah, Andre was my middle name, and you know, several people, like I used to have in school, I would have people call me Norman, or I have people call me Andre. It just depends on who the friend was. Like if the friend was somebody and I was cool with, and I say, yeah, they didn't call me Dre, but if they couldn't, I'd be like, no, you just call me Norman. So anyway, but that's another story. Oh, sorry, got another question. And Clutch, still not drifting away from your question about mastering, right? Or is it, hold on, was that? No, Drizzy Dre needed help with mastering. Okay, so I'm still coming back to that question too as well, Drizzy Dre. All right, what interface would you recommend best for Cakewalk? I'm looking to upgrade my interface in the near future. What interface are you using right now? If you don't mind me asking. When it comes to autocorrect changed my whole text. Hey, I understand, man. It happens. It happens. It's all good. I believe that the interface that you should use is based off of, well, first off, is based off of what you intend to do with your production. You know, if you're a person that only wants to record a 2-track and a rap vocal and maybe a few background vocals, then yeah, the Focusrite Solo would be perfect for you. All right, you know, something like that. I have a Focusrite Scarlett 2i4. I don't really use it much anymore. I love it. It was given to me by my old percussion teacher, my old high school teacher, and it's just got, you know, 2 XLR inputs on it. Great if I was a person that was doing this all by myself. And if I was just going to use like virtual instruments, I would be cool. This is all I really need. But, okay, M Audio Duo, yeah, that's cool too as well. The only reason I stopped using the Focusrite 2i4 was because for some reason, when I started making videos about Cakewalk for YouTube, for some reason, I couldn't get this to, something about OBS, I couldn't get it to work right in OBS. Or it worked right, but it was just like, it wasn't allowing me to get a good signal as far as like recording the DAW. Like, it's easy to record videos all day long, but getting your DAW to stream or play into the recording, there was some issues with that. And I believe, maybe if I go back, it might have been just because I was a newbie trying to get that working, but I might be able to go back into it. I have that, so I can use that if I need to. I have my Behringer X18. That mixer, I use it out for I use it for recording, but I also use it for live shows because I perform a lot. That is great because it's a mixer. You know, me personally, I'm more so into mixers now than anything because I like to have the channels. If I had money like that, then I would go get, you know, $1,000 interface or something like that. Because the ADDA converters are important. They do provide a better sound, and also having that flexibility in going from 44 kHz to 48 to 96 to even higher than that is great if you're doing, like, you know, video work and stuff like that. Right now I've been using the Zoom Live Track L8, and the only reason I'm using it now is because it's convenient, right? It's convenient. I can record directly into the mixer. I can use it as an interface. It has sounds in it. You know, it has a little, you know, like the sound pad. It's got, you know, what, 6 XLR inputs, you know, that are TRS combos. It's got 2 1/4-inch extra stereo inputs. It's got 4 outputs. I mean, I can run this thing a bunch of different ways. So that's why it's great for me. But I believe you should get something based off of what, you know, you can afford. Does it mean you got to wait until you get a really nice interface to start recording and releasing music? No, does not. You start where you got to start. And the thing, I think it's even more of a challenge to, like, use something that's not as high in quality, but to get everything to sound like it has really good quality. Quality. So, yeah, I think whatever you have, just use what you have. And I have videos on Cakewalk that talk about not having an interface. And I've made a few videos where you don't have to have an interface. I made one where I took my, you know, we've got this headset that you use on your Xbox, and I made a video of recording, you know, with just using that, you know, going internally into the computer, into the input that comes on the computer. It's not the best sound, but you can get the job done. You can really, you know, with technology now, you got restoral plugins like the Clarity, which comes with waves. You have like different plugins that can actually, you know, AI technology. Now you can take the audio and really make it sound great. Take all the noise out of. I mean, I use this stuff in my video editing all the time. Like, I can record, you know, my vocals, you know, and then take it, bring it in, and extract all the noise in the background and make it sound like I was in a room that was, you know, that was filled. The walls were filled with all kind of foam, and everything was just isolated, you know. But yeah, I don't have that luxury though. Richie says, I've been doing music for a while now. I usually upgrade my equipment every few years. I don't know why. It's a habit. Like, it's probably the itch where you feel like you got to have something new. I used to get that itch too as well a lot. Because my dad, like I say, he's a musician and he's a technological person. So he taught me everything I know about computers, and he does, you know, he's doing it for a living, and like he's the same way. Like anything that new comes out, his main instrument is guitar. So when a new guitar comes out, he'll be like, oh, gotta get that new mixer. Oh, like Zoom got a new mixer. Oh, shoot, Alan and Heath got a new mixer out, you know, and he'll be the one that be like, man, look at this, you know. And I'll be like, yeah, that's cool, Dad, you know. He'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna get it, you know. So addiction to buying, consumerism, I guess. I don't know, maybe that's a phrase, maybe not, but where you just got to consume things. You feel like you got to buy something. I've become complacent with not having to get a lot. Like there's a lot of things I need to upgrade on. Like for real, this right here. I need to, like this Impact LX25. Yes, it still works, but some parts don't work. Why? Well, I gave a funny story a long time ago. A few years ago when my daughter was younger, my oldest daughter, you know, over here by the computer with some juice or something like that. I had an energy drink, I think, and she came over and bumped into something and knocked it and spilled on my drawing. You know, I have a drawing pad too as well. That's right here. Can't see it, but that's my little drawing pad because I do art too as well. on my other channel, Just the Art. But she spilled it, and it all got on my LX25, and all the buttons and some of the keys got real sticky. And I was thinking, like, I can pull this thing off and clean the inside the keys. Didn't realize that this was like actually like, yeah, kind of like glued down, or it's like, so one of my keys is like, it's not even on there. So these pads don't even really work well. Don't really use them for that. All the keys still work, but there's still a few keys that are a little sticky. So, and this happened, what, 3 years ago? Why haven't I upgraded? I don't know. Because when I get money nowadays, I think about doing other things like saving so we can move into a house and or paying bills, which mainly what most adults are supposed to do. So when I get a chance to buy new gear, that's great. That's why I'm hoping, they're starting to come in now, but I'm hoping for more placements with sponsorships and more things where I can start reviewing things and people send me products. They're starting to do it. This microphone was sent to me. I made a video about it. I just happened to pull it back out because I was thinking about going live. And the only thing that I don't like about the Zoom live track mixer is, yes, recording wise, I can record all separate tracks. But for streaming wise, everything that comes out of here comes out the same 2 tracks, you know, which is USB 1 and 2, which is cool, but not good for streaming because, like, if I have a lot of noise in the background, I was going to use like a noise gate on the microphone to cut out that sound. So whenever I would talk, you know, noise gate works like this. I say something, it opens up, and as soon as I stop talking, it closes it, so nothing gets through. Great. But that also affects all the sound that's coming from Cakewalk or the game that I'm playing or anything like that. So that kind of messes things up. But anyway, we got off track. Let's go back to Drizzy Dre, if you're still on here. Let's go back to your mastering question. So if I wanted to master this track, there's a few different things that I can do. For one, there are some plugins that I can use. And I am not like pushing any plugins that are on here. I'm just talking about them. That's all. So don't feel like you got to go get this plugin. There's a bunch of plugins that you can use. What's your preferred mic to record on, and what's your dream mic? Preferred mic to record on? That's a good question, because I really don't have one. I don't have a mic like that I just have to have. I've recorded on, I don't have it down here, but I've recorded on like MXL, which is like, you know, my first condenser mic, which is cheap. You know, it's like it was $150 or something when I got it, or $99 when I got it. Still like it. I still use it. I've recorded on this before. You know, XM 1800S. This is made by Behringer. Tell a story about this. Ultra Voice. I bought 3 of these for like $30. Cheap mic. This is normally what I would have here and that I would be doing my videos on. And this, I mean, I can record on this too as well. I have gotten really good at being able to get good sound. And I know my voice. Now, if I was working with others, I mean, I would love to have the Shure SM7. Like, I want that. And I mean, I can get that, but I would love to have that. I would love to have a Neumann, I mean, U87 or U47, any one of those. I don't really have, like, the RCA44 is nice too as well. Yeah. To be honest, I would love to just have one decent mic in each category, like one cardioid dynamic mic, you know, one tube mic, one ribbon mic, one, you know, like a shotgun mic. Now, I do have a shotgun mic that I can use, but like a long shotgun mic. and a one great mic for podcasts. Like this is a decent mic for podcasting or recording too as well. So I mean, I just like mics for different purposes. But if I had to choose one for real, it would be a modeling mic. So I know a long time ago I used to use Slate Digital. I used to use their plugins, and I had a membership with them or a subscription with them. I'm not gonna lie, I love those plugins. In fact, the first two songs that I used, no, I mean not the first two songs, the first two songs I used it on, I think was on My Mama You So Cool, and That's My Dad. Like those are the ones that I think I was using at that time. And I don't know, it was really easy to work with them. But Slate Digital has a modeling mic. Of course, there's a few companies that modeling mics, but you get a modeling mic, I think it's like $300, $500, and then you can use the 800. The 800 is like the go-to mic for pretty much a lot of cats, like the Sony C800. So yeah, you know what I used to love? I know I keep changing ideas, or changing topics. I don't know where you all are from, but if you're from anywhere in the U.S. anyway, you might have had a Mars Music. Like when Mars Music was around, they had all the microphones on display, so you could like go there, put headphones on, and listen to, I think they had little buttons that you can press, like you can press the red button, and then you'll be listening to this microphone, and press the red button, you'll be listening to the other microphone. And I mean, it was just such a cool thing to be able to try the mics out like that to see how they sounded. But to be honest, there's no mic that I don't like. I mean, I will rock with a $10 mic, and trust me, once I get used to it, and it take me some time to figure out how to mix it and tweak it, but once I get used to it, it'll sound fat. Once I get used to it, that is. But yeah, I mean, just I don't really go with, I go with what I can afford. Now, when it gets to the point where someone starts sending me microphones and they be like, yeah, can you try this mic out? Oh, if someone does want me to try out a microphone too as well. Well, like the Fifine or Fifine, that came. I had an interface that came with that too as well, but I got both of them. I gave the interface away to somebody. I forgot who I gave it away to. But yeah, I mailed it to them because they needed an interface. And it was a decent interface. It was just one input or something like that. The company, I forgot the name of the company. It's a company, that's on Amazon. It's funny because at the church, like we use some of their microphones, and they reached out to me, but they haven't got back to me. I don't know. They sent me an email, talking about doing a collaboration. But anyway, I don't know. There's more of that to come. But that's what I'm looking forward to, is being able to get those mics. And then I can say, look, hey, someone sent me this mic. Who needs a mic? And I can just send it away. I want to just share, not just knowledge, but share whatever goodies that I get. Well, yeah. Okay, I feel like that's the first time I took a breath. I take a break from talking. So, do you all celebrate the holidays, or how was the holidays for you all? And meanwhile, while you're thinking about that, I'm going to pull up the plugin I was talking about. There's a few of them. So some of the mastering plugins that we have, or that I have rather, and like I said, there's a bunch of ways you can go about mastering. Once you get your mix right, there's a few things that I would suggest that you definitely need, and one is some type of loudness meter. Ulean loudness meter is free, so you can get this. And is this still? Okay, and basically what this does is it tells you exactly where your loudness is. So it tells you how many lufs you're at, and then your ideal range or where you want to go for. And then it also lets you know your true peak. Now, of course, this is a free version. You can buy the pro version of it, but I use a free version just so I can kind of see exactly where I sit, and then you can go from there. So that's one thing that you want to have. And then, Alan, cool. You said that everything went good. Holidays went good. And then also you can use a, what's that called? If you're a Waves plug-in person user, some people don't like Waves, but I have the Waves subscription right now. So I use Waves quite a bit. Well, I started using Waves quite a bit. For a long time, I wasn't using Waves at all. I was just using Cakewalk. And then you can master in Cakewalk, and I'll show you briefly how to do that too as well. And I do have a video about mastering where I talk about like a whole series that focuses on how I came up with a song, the idea, making the music for it, recording the music for it, recording the vocals for it, editing the vocals, mixing everything, mastering, and how I released the song. So, and that song is called Super World, and it's out now. And then I started another song that I did the same way, which is I forgot the name of that song right now off the top of my head, but anyway, those songs, the Super World song, I think I mastered it in Lander. So I use Lander quite a bit, and it's funny now because Lander has a plugin that you actually can use. Oh, you've seen it, yeah, Jersey Dre. Okay, cool. And then, but I did another video where I mastered everything in Cakewalk, just using Cakewalk stuff, and it still came out good. You know, what I love about now, I'm sorry, let me cut my brain off. My brain is going one direction physically, but I'm talking about something totally different. So let me stop doing that. Let's just focus on this, right? And then I'll come back to what I was going to say. So in mastering, one plugin that I really, really fell in love with is called the I Am Pusher. And there's a stereo version of it. I think the stereo version is included. I have the cheapest subscription for Waves, so it's not like I'm paying, you know, the full one. But and that's because it comes with 100 and some plugins. Like half these plugins I'm not going to use at all, but I just didn't do it anyway. So on here, like, and I can play it. Let's just play like right here, and let's loop that. Okay, so when you put this on, right now it's like, but if I do like this, only thing I hate about this keyboard sometimes it sticks over. But the way this works is like you can add, you know, you can clip it, you can limit it, which is really what you're trying to say is like you want it to, no matter how loud it goes, you want it to stay under a threshold. So like if I set this to -1 for the output, no matter what, it still won't like go into the red. Oh, no problem. No problem. I could not talk today. No problem. I appreciate the knowledge, bro. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being here and asking questions, because this is where I get to, you know, this is what I look forward to. So if I'm playing that part, you know, I can add highs to it. I can add more stereo image. I can add the magic, which is like the glue, which is compression basically. And there's a dynamic punch, which kind of compresses on the higher end. And then there's some focus, which kind of compresses on the lower end, or the low mids, I'll put it like that. And then there's lows, and then you can actually do sub frequencies. So depending on whatever key you in, these are kind of like adding, I mean, these are really low pitches, but these are, you know, pitches you probably really won't be able to hear as much, but they do help to add a certain like kind of saturation to it. And then you can adjust the lows here. So, and then push, you know, which I said, and then the body is like kind of like 200 hertz between that 150 350 hertz range. And yeah. So there's plugins. I mean, there's presets. Bring this down so I don't have to talk so. Okay, so maybe I don't want it to. I don't have to push it as much, but. Sustains. By the way, if you ever have a situation like there where something freezes, you can press the reset in the MIDI and the audio, what's at the top, and they'll get rid of that real quick. And then just turn it back on, and then it won't be as bad. Sometimes it'll act weird, do things like that. That particular patch, that's a Waves plugin patch, so it's kind of like whenever sustain, it's like carrying over whenever I do a loop. And that would be another good way, not good way, but good reason why you might want to bounce it down to a new track or to freeze it, kind of like I did here, is because sometimes it happens to sustain over like that. And that's not from the melody, that's just from the chords right here. And so if I did the same thing I did to the melody up here to the chords, that would get rid of that issue. But that's another story. So that plugin, I Am Pusher, you know, cause that works pretty decent. That'll like be able to push it, limit it, get it to where it needs to be for its loudness. Now, there's some other plugins that you got, like you got the Lander, which is included if you have the Lander subscription, which I did sign up for. I've been using Lander for a long time, you know, even when it was just mastering. But now they got plugins. Now they got this is the cheapest one. This is like they have one that's more, you know, has more features to it. This is like the basic one, and what it does is it just analyzes, you know, you can take it to the loudest part of your song and it'll listen to it, and then it'll give you a few options of whether you want like a warm mix, you want a, you know, I can't think of what, right. You'll see there's like 3 different features, 3 different modes it gives you. That's this keyboard right here. Actually, let me do this real quick. I love this patch, but all right, let's try it now. Okay, that's better. So I don't have to have this looped anymore. But now you can play it without, with. And so on here, of course, it's down here to let you know your LUFS, and then, you know, you can always look into how many LUFS you should be at for each streaming platform. Every streaming platform is a little different. So typically it's 12 LUFS, -12 LUFS is kind of what you want to go for. Some people probably push it to 4, 5, 6, 7 LUFS, and which is really loud. Just know that leave room to breathe, because every streaming platform will compress your audio. So if you send them a track that's really hot, you'll be like, it's fat, boy, it's fat. But when you get to listen to it on a streaming platform, it will not sound like that anymore. And you can actually do a comparison, and I should do it one day, like an A/B comparison between like a song playing on Apple Music versus Spotify. What I know, I love Spotify. What I noticed about Spotify though, Spotify will duck that sucker. Like, it's always sounds so much softer and more mellow than it does on Apple Music. And it might just be the, you know, the algorithm or the software they have. But when I listen to a track on Apple Music, like you'll hear more bottom out of Apple Music than you will hear Spotify. Kind of like when you come from, you know, me here in St. Louis, we have 107.7. All right, 107.7, you know, it's the station you listen to, FM station, where everything that you hear is pretty much the same songs over and over again, but everything is fat. Like, it's like, so the quality is there, but what they will do is they will always add extra bottom to the tracks, right? And then, but if you go listen to 98.1 or listen to, you know, some other station, you'll notice that it just sounds, you know, you hear clarity. It's not as loud, but it's not as, you know, it's no, the low end is not, I mean, you hear the low end, but it's not like overbearing. So normally that's what like happens. So just keep that in mind, is that it's going to sound different on different platforms. And you just kind of want to get it in the middle. So if it's not, I believe that if it's not at the level they want it to be, and it's under that, then they'll push it up to where it needs to be. And if it's over that, they're going to squash it. And over compressed music, while it's good in some instances, like if you want to use like over compressed vocals, cool. Over compressed guitar or something like that, great. But overall, you want to have some type of dynamics. It's good to have dynamics in your music. It just makes it more interesting to the listener. So, if you're not sure how this works, are there presets on here? I forgot. No presets. Okay. So, of course you can bypass it up here. Oh, there's a new update. I got to download that. So here they normally give you the option. I didn't see it this time. They normally give you the option. Cancel. Okay. They normally give you the option to decide how you want it. I think that's on the other version. The other version, or if you use Lander's the website to do mastering, they normally give you like warm. It's kind of like one is more darker tone, one is more balanced, and one is like really like open and bright. So if you're doing pop record, you're doing EDM, then you might want to go with the open sound, which is more the modernized sound. If you're doing like hip hop, R&B, or like soul music, you might want to go with the warmer sound, which has more of a darker, richer sound. And if you just kind of want to keep it balanced, you can go balanced. So it gives you those three options. And, you know, on Lander, you know, and normally, like, I loved it because I found out about it. Same person that gave me the Focusrite that I talked about earlier. My percussion teacher, like, he uses Sonar and Cakewalk and like the old Sonar. And I used to always go to his house to help him out because he's older. He's in his 70s. Be like, man, I want to, you know, I'm trying to do this and my Cakewalk ain't working. So I used to go over his house all the time. And he put out a song. Well, he was working with a female artist, and he put out this this song. Like, and I was like, okay, cool. Now I'm always going over there, and I know how his stuff sounds. You know, he's got a nice system. You know, he's got, you know, big screens in front of him. You know, and then he's got his KRKs. You know, whatever it is, Rocket 5s or whatever. Up here, he's got the sub below. You know, it's got a nice system. You got to set up nice. You know, better than mine, but every time I come over there, I'm like, I know, like, this stuff is not going to sound right mix-wise because it just sounds like he's just recording it and just throwing it together. But he went to go play this track, and I was like, that is fat. I'm like, how the heck did you get it to sound like that? I was like, I know you ain't mixed that. And he brought out this. He brought out Lander. Now, it wasn't this exactly, but it was the website. He's like, yeah, man, I go to this website called lander.com, and, you know, they master, you know, they got mastering, and, you know, of course you got eMaster, you got other ones that are out there that do mastering, you know, AI mastering, but that's, I mean, its sound just changed dramatically, just like how you saw here. So here, you know, there's loudness. So you need to, if you need to make it louder, you need to make it softer. And this is the input gain. So it suggests, it kind of tells you where it wants to keep. So green is optimal, yellow is acceptable, and red is too loud. So if you see it, this light changing to red, then that means that you need to bring it down some. And if you see it, trying to see if I can see. So like now it's lit up green. Bring this down some so I won't blow your eardrums off. But if I bring it up to red, and you will see that it's getting compressed more because it's like the sound is dropping. But if you keep it at white, and that's just flat up, that's what it sounded like before. Okay, so you notice that it got like, okay, you notice that it got louder, but not only did it get louder, but it just sounded fuller too as well. That along with some EQing, shoot, that'll be cool. Like you could, like if you have a track that's mixed decently, your vocals is cool, you know, you got it the way you want it, your effects is cool, you can like pop that lander on there and then master it and get it where you need to be and then release it like that. You'll be fine with that. You know, if you want to get more into doing it yourself, that's where it gets a little tricky. So I showed you 2 plugins that you could use, but if you was going to do this on Cakewalk, delete that. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but this is when I will pull out the Pro Q, not Pro Q, but I mean the Pro channel rather. Power that on. And, okay, where we at? Master right here. Hold on. Let's go down here to the master track, which is right here. All right, and now we're looking at the master track. And we got our Pro channel on. And some of the same things that you need. What would you need for mastering? Well, one, the main thing you probably need is EQ or a multi-band compressor. So those are some of the things that I would look into adding. And let's see, let's go to Pro channel knob. And now we can see we're on the master channel. Now it already has an EQ here, so I might keep that EQ there. Some other things that I might add, insert module. You might want a limiter. Okay, you know, might need that. Some type of compressor. So PC76. Maybe 1176. You might want that on there. I'm not going to show. I'm not really doing these settings right now. I'm just kind of showing you some of the things that you would need. And let's see, saturation knob might be cool because that works really good. And if you want to add more depth, this is nice too as well. This makes it a little deeper so you can get more of that 3D, not 3D dimension, but just get more space and more dimension. And then there's another one called space too as well. Shaper, let's see, grit. And if you go into that and you're thinking like, dude, how do I really do this? Well, that's kind of, I should have created like a mastering chain for stuff. Like maybe I'll go back to that song that I mastered on Cakewalk and then do that. But so EQ, limiter, compression, maybe saturation. Saturation allows harmonics to come in. So think of like every pitch that you have, there are harmonics that are associated with it. So like if you play one note on the piano, there's multiple harmonics that are within that one pitch. Like you never hear just, I mean, oh, good analogy. There we go. So think about if you've ever seen an acoustic piano. Acoustic piano normally has 3 strings per pitch, right? But each of those strings has different pitches. So you have to normally tune them together. They all have to be the same frequency in order for that note to sound like it's in tune. Otherwise, you can have a chord, which is more than one pitch, played simultaneously on that one note. So like if I played C on the piano and some of them are out of tune, then I might get one that might be B. Sir, please show. Man, I don't know how to pronounce names. Mukui. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Sir, please show that how to do painting in Cakewalk. Oh, do you mean pan? How to pan? Is that what you mean? Panning in Cakewalk? Like how to switch from left to right? Maybe that's what you mean. I think that's what you mean. Hopefully. Okay. I'll wait for your response and then I can go there. So when you have these pitches that are in sync with each other, then you get the same note. So in audio, whenever you play or hear a certain frequency, you're really hearing all the frequencies that are associated with it. So if I play 440 hertz, which is A on the keyboard, I shouldn't. The keyboard is way over there. Okay, if I play A, which is for 440 hertz, yes sir, pan. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to pan. Give me one moment. Just give me one moment. I got you. So 440 hertz, associated with that is anything that's double that. So 880, anything that's half of that, 220 hertz. They're all frequencies that are associated with each other, and they're harmonics of each other, basically. And sometimes, well, you know what? Let me go a step further. I'm sorry. The harmonics sometimes can be notes that are not associated with the pitch. So let me rephrase that, because I know somebody's out there gonna be like, that's not what a harmonic is. 'Cause harmony, the key word is harmony. So if I play one pitch or I sing one pitch like whoo, if you really took that note apart, you would see that there might have been a way down there somewhere coming from that one pitch. And those are the things that you want to include when you're thinking about saturation, because that allows most of those elements to come out that normally you wouldn't hear. And that gives a perception that the song is a lot louder than what it is. So that's one cool thing. Panning. Let's go to panning. All right. So if you wanted to pan, I'm going to take this knob off right here. Let's switch this back. All right. So if you wanted to pan this track, let's say I wanted to pan, let me go to the Let Your Piano. If I want to pan the Let Your Piano, there is a pan button right here, right above what's called the fader. And you can pan it left or right, all right? Or you can pan it any way you want to pan it. So check this out. Oh, I forgot. My bad. You're like, what the heck just happened? Why does it sound like that? Oh, I forgot about the all those mastering plugins that I put on there. Yeah, just don't throw the plugins on there without tweaking them. Let's delete all of these real quick. All right, because we don't want that stuff on there unless we're gonna be doing something with it. That sounded horrible. And that's how you master your song. Remember that. Get it to sound nasty and distorted. Yes. All right. Okay. And let's turn that off. Actually, I could just turn it off, but anyway, I deleted them anyway. Okay. Now, hopefully, it sounds better. Okay. Okay. So you'll notice right now that the keyboard is to the left. All right. Or it's on my left. Now it's to the right. Or I can slowly pan it over. And there's a cool thing that you can actually do. There's a cool plugin that's on Cakewalk that you can use for this that I love to use all the time. And let me show you what it's called. Insert audio effects. And let's go to, okay, I'm gonna organize this by manufacturer first. Plug in layouts at the top. Right now it says sort by category. I'm gonna sort it by the manufacturer. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because sometimes it's harder to find the plugins that Cakewalk has because it's bunched up with all the other stuff. Surround. Sonitis Surround. I like this because what it's going to do is it's going to do things in the stereo field, and it plays with panning and surround sound. Let's just do a simple curve. All right. So it's going to go back and forth, left and right. You can kind of see it here. So let's play it. Okay. Okay, and you can do some more crazier things. And this is from like back left to the front right. I don't know if you can hear that good or not. Let's bring it up some. Okay. Left, right, left. I can speed it up. Thank you. Oh, that's pretty. I might keep that on there. All right, so funny things like that, you can do that for panning. But the simple way of just panning is just to go to any track. I can click on any track, and just you'll see pan right there. Or in the console view, if I press, hold on, let's see, console. Thinking about, I'm on another DAW for a second. Shift D. All right, brings it up. Even if I'm looking at the console view. So here's electric piano. You know, once again. I can pan them, you know, left or right. Okay. If you double click it, it'll put it right back centered. So hopefully that helps. M-U-K-U-I. All right, M-U-K-U-L. I don't know if that's an L or I, but once again, hard pronouncing names, so I apologize. Okay, and hopefully they helped. Great question. Great question. This is pretty. I like it when it's like this. You all know that you can color code like each of your tracks, right? Like you can choose like at the bottom, I'm about to say bottom corner, not bottom corner, but the bottom part of the screen. There's like a little tab you can click on and allow you to change the color of this. This is great for sorting when you work on a whole lot of tracks. So far, I think the only thing. I was like, am I still going live? Yeah, okay, I'm still going live. Okay, I got scared for a second. I was like, I didn't see no time up there. All right, the only song that I like, I remember one song that I used, or not used, but created, That's My Dad. That song has a lot of vocal parts on it. So, and I remember, I think that was like something I used 60 something, maybe 60, 70 tracks on total. I really don't ever use tracks like that. I'm kind of like an old school person. I keep saying that, but I'm kind of that. I have to get out of that habit of like recording all the way through, like punch in, punch out, being able to do that. That's a great thing about this software. Oh, you're welcome. Welcome. Thank you for the question. Like I came from the world where you only had 4 tracks and then you had an 8-track. And so an 8-track, I can record my lead vocal on 1 track, but I'd have to sing the track all the way out. You know, I couldn't be like, you know, all right, let me crop in and come in right here. No, I couldn't do that. I had to sing it all the way through. And then my background vocals, normally I'm used to being 3-part harmony, and 1 would be on each track. And then you can kind of pan them, or you can keep them straight up, you know, and then push them back. And that would be your mix. And then you have your instruments, you know, on the other 4 tracks. So drums, bass, guitar, keys would be it, you know, or, you know, your drums would be on 1 track, and maybe you put your bass on another track, your guitar and keys on 1 track, and then maybe if you had a horn or some other strings or something, you put that on the opposite track. And that's how I got into like recording, because I was using the Tascam 8-track and a 4-track. And then I got into Cakewalk when we got our first PC computer, because I used to have like a little IBM floppy 5 1/4, 2 5 1/4 floppies, and I would I would be on that thing like writing lyrics for songs for days. And I mean I got so many lyrics probably that I lost that I probably could have been good songs, or they probably could have been horrible songs, either way. But so that was my journey getting into using a DAW. And it's fascinating, you know. So like how you can hear people that use, you know, 500, 600, 700 tracks on one song. Jacob Collier. Jacob Collier. I love Jacob Collier though. But can use that many tracks. But you think about it, makes it so much easier now. If you got the processing power, you can literally put everything on one track. Like you can put like your eyes on a separate track. If you got some like laughs that you put in the background, you can put that on a separate track. You can mix them differently. So it's helpful to have the ability to do unlimited tracking. And Cakewalk, you know, I don't really want to talk about my DAW, but you know, it's pretty amazing. But Cakewalk was one of the first ones. Yeah, it was one of the first ones that had unlimited tracks. Pro Tools did not have unlimited tracks originally. And I don't know if it still does not. I don't know. But back then, you think about it, the DAWs that were to be talked about were Cubase was out. Cubase was out. Digital Performer. You had Pro Tools. You had Logic was out. And Cakewalk was out. But see, and everything else was like Mac based. And Cakewalk was the only one. No, it wasn't the only one, but it was like the DAW for PC. So if you was a PC user, and if you definitely was doing MIDI sequencing, you would probably have came to Cakewalk. Unless you was doing just like notation, then you would do Finale or Sibelius. But so Cakewalk has been around for a long time. And it's never received the roses or the flowers that it deserves. So I'm an advocate for it, even though they have the situation with the licensing or the subscription, Bandlab subscription, so that we can use the Sonar version. But this, we thought this DAW, Cakewalk by Bandlab, would be obsolete. We thought that it wasn't going to receive any more updates. And it seems like every time they would say, all right, this is the last update, make sure you have it, they would turn around and update. I mean, they just did a new update for December. So the fact that it's still getting updated means that they're sure, I mean, they're still caring about, you know, the people that are using this DAW, because they probably realize a whole lot of people use it. Now, there are some features that are on Sonar that are not on here, and that will probably never be on here. But the fact that you still can get in here and use a free DAW is amazing, because most of the DAWs that are out now, they're free, yes, but they're starting to get the idea that, oh, you know what? People are using us. It's time to put a dollar amount on it now. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with paying for a DAW, because I paid for Cakewalk Sonar a long time ago, and I remember it being $200 or $300, you know, so I'm used to paying for stuff. You know, if you want something that's good, comes down to workflow once again. Never been a person to get what people want me to get or to get what everybody else is getting. I've always been different. I always like to use different things. And I think that's probably why I created a channel focusing on traction waveform, because I've been exploring that. And it's a great DAW, and there's a lot of people that use it, but it's still an underdog too as well, kind of like Cakewalk is an underdog. Reaper was an underdog. But now it's like, I mean, it's coming up. Like, everybody is switching to it and everybody loves it. And the fact that you can, you know, use different templates in there to change the GUI to make it look more like other DAWs, that's effective too as well. But I don't know. You know, it's easy for me to make a song on any DAW for the most part, except for Bitwig. I said Bitwig already, but I'll get back to it one day. But it's easy for me to work on any DAW. I don't really have no hatred for any DAW. I'm just like, you know, my more concern with me is focus, like being able to get in and just focus on recording something and getting it done. You know, that's my issue, you know, which has nothing to do with the DAW. I mean, I can get into any DAW, and if I'm sitting there and I don't know what the words to the songs are, or I don't know what chords I want to play on the song, well, the DAW's not going to help me at all. So I'm a very intricate person. So it's hard for me to just write something very simple. Like I have maybe one song that's probably got 2 chords in it, but most of my songs have at least 25, 30 chords. I'm used to having, you know, oh, the verse will be calm and color. But when you get to the bridge is going to have 5 million chords in it. Bling, blum, blum, bling, blum, bling, blum, blum, bling, blum, blum, blum. You know, stuff like that. Modulations, accents, and stuff like that. I've got some songs that like you all even haven't heard, like some stuff I gotta get in the studio. Like for real, I love my studio. Great. For me. You know, it's an apartment. So but I need to get into a for real studio to record some live stuff that I have. Like I've got one tune that's called Normal Tendencies, which is a jazz tune, but it's got like multiple time signature changes, multiple chord progressions. I mean, it's got a lot of stuff on it. And I played it out live one time. And that was a hot mess. And that was just because everybody wasn't prepared for the song. So, but that's another story. All right, sir, tell us about your favorite plugins or effects you use in Cakewalk. Favorite plugins I use in Cakewalk are, you can also buy Reaper for $60 for, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Reaper is cheap. So yeah, that's what I said. You can spend money on DAWs. And me personally, I think it's better to have multiple DAWs anyway, because you never know if you're working with other people and they might come in and say, you know, man, I only use Cubase. And then what you going to say? Sorry, I use Cakewalk. They'll be like, sorry, I can't. No, you'll be like, okay, yeah. Okay, well, we're going to make it work. You know, somebody got to get Cubase. Plugins that I use. Strictly Cakewalk plugins that I use. All right. I'm not sure I use all of them. Actually, come to think of it. Sonitis Suites. Anything in Sonitis Suites I use. So let's go back to the console view. And let's do this. Put me back down there. Here. Okay. Pick a plugin, any plugin. What type of plugin would you be looking for? If I'm looking for reverb, Cakewalk. All right. Cakewalk. Sonitis reverb. Love it. Reverb. Love it. Where's Reverb at? But Reverb is on a different company because it's a part of Cakewalk. I've been thinking with Cakewalk since on R7. Yeah, well, you know, Alan. So yeah, you've been around. That's what it's like. It's a lovely DAW. I mean, of course, every DAW is gonna have its issues, and I can't tell you for certain that every time you get in your DAW, it's gonna be perfect, and you're gonna always be able to produce just wonderful music without any crash and without any without any delays or any plugins acting weird. I can't tell you that because that's not reality. That's what any DAW, any computer, to be honest. Sonitis delay I use a lot. Of course, equalizer I use a lot. I love this equalizer. It's simple. Only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have a real-time analyzer. And of course, all the plugins that are in Cakewalk, they don't expand. You now on Cakewalk Sonar, the new one, they do. But on these, they just stay the way they are. So they look very old. It's very plain. But I do like this one. It works great. I just wish it had an RTA. And the RTA, the real-time analyzer, will allow you to see those frequencies. A good sax plugin? Do you mean like an instrument plugin for sax? Shoot. Oh, you know what? I found out TTS won't even be like with Cakewalk anymore. I got a message about that. Like, I mean, it wasn't with Cakewalk, but I got a message that it's not available anymore at all. You might be able to still use it in here, but maybe not. Hold on. No, it's still here, but it's not working anymore, I don't think. Some people is having issues with it anyway. I would use, like, if I was using a saxophone, I would use the TTS, or I would use just a generic, like, MIDI type of saxophone. If I was going to use a real saxophone, then I would use like a sample. Like if I was going to use, like if I wanted to, like most of the songs that are out now have sampled saxophone parts. So I would use that, but I don't know. I never really think about, I do think about brass plugins, like using, like brass hits and stuff like that. Okay. Vinsville. Don't have music theory. How will I know the proper time signature, beat, or tempo, and in rhythm with the metronome? When I try to quantize, it doesn't sound right. Good question. I love this question. Don't get me wrong. I love every question. So this question, and this is what I've been meaning to do more videos about, is more things about music theory, because it is helpful. So ask yourself this. If you're making, oh, actually, can we just make a new project? Is that cool with everybody? Can we just do something new? It's easier for me to explain it while I'm showing it. So let's make a new project. Empty track. And to make this fun, I'm only going to use stuff that's in Cakewalk, all right? That comes with Cakewalk. Insert. Drums. MIDI can't play a sax. Yes, it can. Shoot. Do you know that the what is it called? I'm gonna tell you the best thing to do for that. If you have, I can't remember the name of it right now. It's a MIDI saxophone, because I know saxophone players that I play with actually use it. And it has, it tracks the breath, it tracks the embouchure, it tracks a lot of different things. You can buy it, but it's MIDI, and you can actually play it. You can play, you can change the sounds. Like, it could be a saxophone player, but he can be playing drums, whatever. But it works just like a real instrument, because you put it in your mouth, you have to blow into it, you got to have enough control, and that you can track that. Because think about, MIDI doesn't sound like a sax player because of the nature of the instrument. Like, acoustic piano, you start off cool. Then you went into keyboards. Keyboards still track the same way. Bass, start off, acoustic bass. You went to electric bass. Then you went to keyboard bass. So keyboard bass can sound like a real bass sometimes, but it comes down to the way you play it. So if you were able to play a saxophone on a keyboard like a saxophone player would play, because think about the tuning of a saxophone and the way the dexterity, what I mean by dexterity is like the way a saxophone player can hit from, one pitch like C, but they can hit all the way up to G sharp, 2 octaves higher easily. Whereas a piano player would have to stretch for that, or either have to just, if a piano player would have to play with 2 hands, to boop, bee, something like that. So it's like the saxophone, the way it's set up as an instrument is what makes it hard to duplicate MIDI wise. I've heard some MIDI tracks that can sound good, but the actual sound is what it comes down to. Because if you get a good sound, or if you sample a saxophone and then have it to some pitches, it might actually sound decent. But Monster Sax is pretty good and free though. Yeah, I don't play sax well. I can play a sax, but it's just because I had to learn all those instruments for teaching. But cool. Let me create a track real quick. All right, let's do drums. SI drum kit. Create. Okay. Now, Vince, if you're still here, hopefully you're still here. Let me go back to your question. When I'm thinking about recording, like in music, I'm thinking about a few different things. You mentioned the tempo. So the tempo is the pulse of the song, right? So ask yourself when I get ready to sit down, is this going to be a slow song? Is it going to be a medium song? Is it going to be a fast song? Okay. So fast song to me is anything that's 100 beats per minute or higher. And what I mean by that is that means that within 1 minute, 100 beats plays. So if this was my beat, that means 100 of these claps would occur within 1 minute. Okay. So when you look at a tempo on Cakewalk, like up here, so up here right now it says my BPM or beats per minute is 120. I'm going to put on my metronome so I can hear what that sounds like. All right. And I'm just going to press play. Actually, I didn't mean to click on that. Let's just press play. Okay, that's 120 beats. So that means now it's accented, right? So it's going coo, 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 coo. Why does it accent like that? Because the top of the beat deals with what's called my time signature or my meter, all right? My meter or my time signature is how many beats per measure I have, okay? In this case, 4/4 tells me that the top number, and you can actually click on 4/4 at the top and it'll tell you, 4/4 means that the top number means how many beats are in the measure. The bottom number means what value, what note value gets one beat. So think of it like this. If I'm there and these are my claps, this is 4/4 time, which means that every beat that occurs is equal to a quarter note. Okay, a quarter note is 1/4 of the measure. So which means I can fit 4 quarter notes within one measure or one bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But if I kept this up, I could fit 120 of those beats, you know, all within 1 minute. So that's the reason why the time signature works. Now, for as quantizing, let me see if I got something set up here. All right. Okay, virtual controller. I can use my virtual controller. I'm gonna use my my impact for a moment. See, hopefully it's working. Only thing I ever hate about this thing is that sometimes when you're dealing with these, you might have to restart the computer and like okay, this is not working. Let me see something. Nothing. No signal. No signal from the... Oh, you know what? I clicked on the wrong thing. My bad. Make sure you go to inputs. Let me see so you can see what I'm doing. So if you have a controller and you're not getting a signal from it, make sure you enable it within preferences. Okay, which you can press P on the keyboard and it'll bring it up. Go to MIDI devices and then make sure your inputs are enabled. I'm only using the impact for inputting because I just want to use it to record. Press apply. Press close. Hopefully it works now. If not, I'm gonna have to restart Cakewalk. So mind you, one thing to know about Cakewalk is that, or pretty much any DAW, but I think it's mainly Cakewalk, is that if you have a controller or if you have Cakewalk start, so if you have a controller, you don't have the controller on before you start Cakewalk, it's not going to register. Like you can go in there, you'll see it up there. It'll let you know. It pops up. It says, "Oh, you just turned on a new device. Do you want to add it?" And you can say yes, add, and then it still won't work. Now, for this impact, it might just be the impact. I don't know. Normally with my Yamaha, like my portable grand piano, it'll work. Same thing with the interface. If you have your interface off and you start up Cakewalk and you decide to turn on your interface, you might not get no sound. So keep that in mind. All right. So let's keep it at BPM 20. One of the issues that you might have with quantizing is latency. And we talked about latency earlier. If your sound is late, that means that from the time that you decide to play, from the time you decide to play something on your keyboard, when I hit the note, you'll notice that, and you might be able to hear it from my microphone picking it up, that there's a slight delay when I press the key and when you actually see the meter on Cakewalk. That is called latency. And that can affect how you quantize things, because if you're a few milliseconds late, then when you quantize it, guess what? You're going to be you'll be quantized in the right thing, but you won't be lined up perfectly on the downbeat. So let's record. Oops. Uh-oh, what did I just do? I pressed R. That wasn't what I was trying to do. All right, here we go. Okay, now I did something a little bit more intricate for the bass drum because I want to show you how I would go about quantizing this. If I was, so first of all, if you want to quantize, because sometimes you don't have to quantize it. Okay, but I can notice that I'm off some, and that's perfectly fine because I was rushing. We're humans. That's one thing. Like, even when the drummer plays, a drummer does not play perfectly in time. And that's why you might not want to quantize it in the first place. But I can definitely tell that some of the things are off. There's a few different ways I can do this. I can bring up the piano roll. You know, you all love the piano roll so much. Maybe you do. I can tell that this beat right here. Okay, let's see. Hold on, what did I do with it? Uh-oh. I did something. Where did it go? Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, I'm just trying to zoom in some more. All right, so I can tell that I started on beat 1, right? Okay, you can look at this and tell that this hi-hat did not start on beat 1. It should be on measure 2. Okay, and I can switch it up here so you can see it. Measure 2, which stands this. So this is the measure, this is the beat, and these are called the ticks. So let me switch so you can see a little better. So 2, 0, 1. So, you know, if you click on this, you can change it. Like, you know, I don't know if you all knew that or not, but so right now it tells me what measure. I start on measure 2. That's when I actually started recording. And measure 1 should be the first beat, and then there's no ticks. 0 ticks. This pitch, which is F sharp, all right, which is a hi-hat, is not starting right at 2. This bass drum is not starting at 2. So I already know I'm rushing. I'm a little ahead of the beat. Now I can literally move this over, you know, if I want to do that. And at least I know the first beat is right. Okay, so that's right on the click. Okay, I'm gonna press Control Z, take it back to what it is. All right, so this is where it was. Now, your pattern, your beat pattern, this is why, like, if you was doing drum beats, that's why people use like step sequencer, because it's easier for a step sequencer just to click in the notes and they're perfectly always in time and you don't have to worry about them being off, you know. But if you're a person that likes to record because you like that recording feel, almost like you're playing the drums for real in real life, then you might do it this way. But it might be more editing that you have to do, so that's okay. If I'm going to quantize this, let me listen to it first. Okay, so my quarter note is right here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. My eighth notes, let me switch cameras so you can see me a little better. My eighth notes are going to be double that. Okay, so I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sometimes when people are doing metronome, sometimes they'll have it set to it's called a subdivision. So when you click on the metronome at the top, it looks like a triangle that's got a little line into it because that clicks back. It's just like a metronome. When you click on that, there's a part that's called beat subdivision. The beat subdivision is set on quarter note right now, but you can set it to half of a beat, which would be an eighth note. And then it would actually show you what it sounds like. Now, when you hear it, it's going click, 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 click. So listen to it now. And see, when you hear that now, you really can hear how much my beat is out of time. So let's switch this back again, though, because I always keep it on. I mean, you can have it on whatever you want to have it on, but I like to have it on just a quarter note. So that's my, now if I was going to do cuts, do cuts, do cut, do cut, that would work great. Eighth notes would be perfect. But I'm going to do, you know. So listen to that part again, those doubles up on the bass drum. To do. Okay, so ba-do. So now when we have the eighth notes here, 16th notes is double that. Okay, do. So those are all 16 notes. So when I listen for that, I'm thinking, oh, dude, I play some 16 notes on my bass drum. So I'm going to have to quantize this in 16ths. Press Q on the keyboard, and it'll say 16th duration. All right. This is a sample way of doing it. There's some advanced options over here to adjust, like if you want to swing it a little bit, or if you want the window, or if you want it to quantize, perfectly quantized, or if you want it to be slightly quantized. You can change the note durations and some other things. I'm just going to press OK and see if this fixes my issue. If it doesn't, we'll find out. Okay, so cool. Overall, everything is better. Few issues. Can you point out the issues? Right here. Okay. It says stick to gut, stick to that. That is not what I played. I said do gut. So now that could be possibly because of the way I played it. I'm going to Control Z, and I want to look at that part again and see if I can fix that ahead of time, so I won't have that issue. Everything else was fine, and then at the end there was another part where the snare drum was slightly off. But this is how I would go through doing this. Okay, so do cut. All right. So let's zoom in some more. Switch back so you can see this. I'm going to show you how to do some advanced editing right now, real quick. Okay, where was we at? Right here. Nope, let's go back some more. Right here, I think. Okay, yeah, right there, right there. Okay, so I have this set to a snap of 1/32 or 30-second notes, all right, which is twice as fast as I just did the 16 notes. I'm going to change this to 16ths, and down here, the musical snap resolution right here, there's another part that says 1/8. I'm going to change this to 1/16. All right. If I'm correct, what it did is subdivided each of those measures into 16th notes. I wish I could make this brighter so you can see it better. You can kind of see it, but there's grid lines here. And so the first part says 5 0 1 0 0. All right. Then it says 5 0 1 240. If you can remember this, this will definitely help you out when you're thinking about quantizing or editing stuff like this. Oh, okay, watching from India. Alan, you said it sounded sick duck trying to play real sax. That's funny. I'm sorry, I didn't see any of those messages earlier. But welcome from India. Welcome from India. That's amazing. All right, so 240 is the first 16th note division of one beat, all right? 1/4 of a beat. So from 0 to 240 is a 16th note. From 240 to 480, you're just doubling it. 240, 480 is double. That's a half note. I mean, eighth note rather. And then from 480 to 720 would be 3/16 notes, okay? You know, and then you'd be back at the second beat. So I do cut, do cut. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and. So it should go one E and, that bass drum should be on E and. So it should be on 240 and 480. But right now, if you look, here's 240 where this little green flag is. But where's my beat at? Where's my kick drum? It's way before that. So I'm going to drag it over right there. And this one is way before, and I'm going to drag that one over. At least closer. So now let's listen to it. Okay, and then I don't want this time, so I'm going to take the time out. I just click and press delete. All right. Now, I know there was another part at the end. This snare, right? Okay, that snare was way too early. It's okay. I'm just going to drag it over because it should be right at 2. Okay. All right, so it's a little sluggish moving for some reason, okay? Now when I go back and quantize it, I can go back to 16th note again. Press Q, 16th. Let's hear it now. Okay. Okay, so we got the bass drums a little better. Okay, so now it wasn't this, it was the snare that was off this time. I can go back in there and I can fix that again. Let's see. Let's go back. Do guts. So E and do. Yeah, snare should be right on beat 2. So I had one E and up. I was like, it was like do. I don't want that snare right there. I want that snare to be on beat 2. Snare is always going to be on 2 and 4 for the most part, unless you're doing some weird backbeat or some weird like accented beat. But normally, most music do scars, do ga, do ga, do gas, do gas, do ga, do. Most of the time, snares on 2 and 4, unless you're doing boo scat gas, you know, if you're doing something similar like that, then yeah, it might be a little crazy. That part was off, and I moved that. And now, let's listen to it now. Okay, hi-hat was off right there. I hear it. Okay. There's a hi-hat. It needs to be right there. Sample move. Okay, and that was should have been probably, that's an open hat. Should have been on 8th note, I think. Okay, got another bass drum that moved ahead of the beat. I didn't hear that last time. I would just slide it over. Now, this is one way you would go about it. Now, is this tedious? Yes, it might be tedious. But if you wanted a certain beat that you wanted to record and you wanted to have that live recording feel, then yeah, you might do it this way. Another quick way to do would just be to, you know, dude, like just pull up the step sequencer, view step sequencer. Where we at? Oh, it's grayed out. Okay, that's right. Why is it grayed out? I forgot because I recorded on this. Let's do another track. Well, actually, can we just copy this, duplicate the track? We don't need the events. Let's just duplicate it. All right, and then this, can we put, yeah, there we go. So I recorded on it already. That's why I couldn't do step sequencer there. So now here's a step sequencer. And I can do the same thing. So I did 1, 2, which is snare. What was the snare on E? Yeah, 1, 2. So do cut da do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 E and. Okay. So 1, 2, 1. So 1, 2. So my 16th notes. These are my 8th notes. I mean, my quarter notes. What was my quarter note again? Let me see. Let me hear my tempo. Okay, my quarter note 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. This is 4 bars. Each of them subdivide into 16 notes. Each of these little boxes are 16th notes. Basically, put it like that. So my drum part originally was do ga. So 1, 2. So my snare should be right here. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna put my hats up here. Hats are on the downbeat. Said great explanation. I like the live feel. Yeah, the live feel is great. I mean, I normally when I record stuff, another way I go about recording things is I'll just do the notation. So, because I read notes, I mean music notes. So I do the notation of it. If it's something like really crazy, then I can do that. But for the most part, I'm fine with playing it or bringing out my electronic pad if I really want to play some stuff. And then I wouldn't really be tripping off quantizing. But it just depends on what you're going for. So let me see what we got so far. Let's mute this other track. Okay, hold on. Where did I start it at? Oh, I'm way down here. Okay. Let's start in the same spot. Starting on 2. There we go. Okay. That was not. Cut. So I'm tripping. Not 1. Should be right. I think it's right there. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so I had it right the first time. So yeah, okay, so that's where it's supposed to be. So 1. Yeah, why am I tripping like that? 1E and a 2. Yes, this is 1 beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4. So the snare came on 2 and the snare came on 4, and then we did 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1E and okay. So we need to add how many more beats? Let's see. Hold on, what's this? Fit. Okay, we need 8 beats total. Okay, so do cuts to do. Okay, so this is that beat 5. I mean bar 5, and then remember we had that E and. So here's E and then snare. And then of course the hats are all right here. Okay, so that's what we got so far. Uh-oh. Froze up on me. Oh, Cakewalk just closed. Oh, you want to know what it feels like for it to close. And I guess it heard me say earlier that sometimes you may have issues in your DAW. It said, I'll show you. It's all right. I'm okay with it. Most of the time when it closes like that, it may, the main reason why it's doing that is because I'm streaming. Streaming really uses a lot of resource too as well. What was I going to say? Sometimes it'll ask you if you, sometimes it'll show you that it has something that you lost and it might want to recover it. But in this case, I never saved it, so didn't matter. Oh, well. What you gonna do? I'm glad it wasn't something I really was trying to keep. Always press Control S, please. Control S. Press that more than anything else, please. Control S will save your life so many times. All right, that's gonna be the last thing I do. You all, I got an exam tomorrow morning, so I gotta go do. I'm doing a math exam in the morning. Math, K through 12. Certification in math. So, all these years I've been teaching music, and now I'm looking to go into teaching math. And so and I just decided my exam came up. I planned this exam a long time ago, but didn't realize it was coming up that quick. And so now I'm like, I got to get off here later on, and I got to start studying and do some more studying before it's time to go to bed. But anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed it so far. I thank you for all the questions and stuff, and thank you for being on here. It's good to see people on here. It's good to just chat with y'all. And if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel. You should have did that a long time ago. But anyway, I sent out emails to some people too as well. If you want to join my email list, I sent out emails earlier this morning. Not early this morning, earlier this afternoon rather. And it was the first email I probably sent in, I don't know, 4 or 5 since April. That was the last time I sent the email. That's crazy. It's how long it's been. So anyway, look, you kind of got the idea. SI Drum Kit. Then I will go back in here, step sequencer, and we know there's 8. We know it's 8 beats. And then down here, okay, and then okay, and then we know that the snare was here. It was here, basically all the dark gray ones, and then there's a spot where I think it's on the. Can you do something down here? No, okay, that's a. We don't want that one. Now this is so much easier than trying to play it out. Oh, Edge Light. Listen, thanks. Just listening while building a guitar. Oh, that's what's up. Well, make sure you show me pictures of the guitar now. You got a video that you're doing of it? Make sure you show us now. Okay, double click that. And then let's see if I got it right now. Okay. Now, and then I did the open hats, tuts, which was on, so hats is A sharp or B flat. Okay, and it should be right there. And then, yeah, then that would be it. Okay, and I can stretch it out. Okay, of course I did some more stuff later on, but this is how I would go about building it. And this is so much easier than going in. It just kind of helps to know your placement of where you want the beats to be or where you want the subdivision to be. Edge Light on YouTube. Edge Light on YouTube. Let me look that up. Edge Light on YouTube. Edge. Oops, I'm spelling it wrong. It came up. Edge Light 2281. Is that it? To teach math and comp science. Cool. Well, then you know. I don't know why I'm. Is this Are you playing games on your channel? Is that? I want to make sure I'm looking at the right thing. Is this it? I don't know. You can see that or not. Shoot. Is that it? Maybe you saw that or not. I don't know. Edge Light. Maybe that's yours or not. Some Minecraft stuff on here. Yeah. So I'm teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th grade right now in Montessori school. I'm a lead teacher this year and took on a whole lot of responsibility, and I'm loving it. But you know, just I've been teaching for a long time, and just normally I taught music at the school. No, just building guitars. Okay, so maybe this is not it. So Edge Light. Okay. Edge Light. Share just at Edge Light. Okay. Edge Light. Okay. Got you. Okay. The last video is Santa's CBG workshop. Lion's Den. Cool. I love this guitar you got. I think that's the right channel I got. Okay. Edge Light. Okay, taught in Hong Kong, but lived in Canada. Okay, cool. That's what's up. Well, it has come to that time. It's 9:09. I promised myself I would be on here for 2 hours. You all, thank you for enduring with me. One day I'm going to do some long, live streams, but it ain't going to be tonight. I feel my energy is starting to deplete. All right, you all, I want to say thank you so much. Love you all. And you enjoy the rest of your holiday. Happy New Year to everyone. Okay, made one out of a PlayStation. Oh, that's hot. That's hot. PlayStation. Okay, Cool. All right. Well, thank you all. Edgelite, thank you. I just subscribed to your channel. I hope it was the right channel. So check that out. All right.